I know if you're not actually working on Whisker Seeker, excuse me, I know if you're not actually working on the boat, it may not seem like I've accomplished a lot, but getting the sole in and riveted down and fitted was a major accomplishment. It's a big step forward. And now I suppose you're asking what's next. Well, as some of you know, I have a business to run called CNC Molds and Stuff, where I manufacture fishing lures or not fishing lures, I manufacture molds for the fishing tackle industry, sinker molds, uh, commercial line weight molds, rubber worm molds, jig molds, spinnerbait molds, stuff like that. I do mostly custom work, but also have a few other things. And I realize that a lot of you have no interest in that whatsoever, but if you'd still like to show a little bit of support, I have CNC Molds and Stuff hats and coffee mugs and a few other things. I'll post a link in the description. Now that we've got that commercial garbage out of the way, you guys are really here to know what's next. Well, I've got three main projects to do to the quote-unquote structure of the boat. I'd like to take the transom apart and put a castable ceramic transom in it to replace the plywood, because the plywood has sagged under the weight in the past, although it got pulled back up and it seems like it's staying up for now. It is going to need to be replaced. From where I'm standing, I can see that the wood's not in great shape, and I'll click a picture of that and put it in here. But that's probably not going to be the next step, because as you know, or as some of you know, I have something that I need to do, that I need to get the boat on the water for. So I'll probably doing something temporary, like throw a little kicker outboard on the back or something and plug all the holes just so I can get it out on the water. Then as far as other steps are concerned, I want to put storage cabinets all the way down the back, put a bigger back deck than was in before, set the steering a little further forward than it was before, probably with a full all-across windshield. I have one that might work if it'll clean up. If not, I'll come up with something else. And then I want to raise the front deck. Well, the name of the boat is Whisker Seeker, and I picked that name because Gary told me it never had a name, and it's kind of in honor of the fact that Gary was a hardcore slimy fish fisherman. He went after those stupid whisker fish. I'm primarily a bass angler, and I need a little bit higher front deck for pitching and flipping. Let me show you what that looks like right now. Anyway, there's quite a distance from here to here for pitching and flipping, and I'd wind up smacking the side of the boat constantly when I'm trying to fish that way. So I want to raise it up to about the same level. It's actually a little higher than this, up to about the same level as the tops of the storage cabinets were on that side, up to about here, because that'll give me about the same amount of clearance between the deck and the gunnel as I have in my little boat that I use for bass fishing all the time. Not as much as my new bass boat, well, new to me, but considerably more or less that I have to get over if I'm standing up here as opposed to standing down here. Also, after tying in the floor, if you guys watched part 5A, you'd notice this was all shaky and flaky, and then in 5B I tied it all together, the pieces down here, and the pieces up here, and the pieces up here, and this is a rock solid base to build on now that it's all tied together. Anyway, I've got 4 or 5 major projects yet to do here. Anyway, like I was saying, I've got 4 or 5 major projects left to do here before it's really close to done. This boat will never be done. That's not counting any work I need to do on the trailer. Anyway, that's where we're at. Oh yeah, I was saying I've got a business to run. I still have to take care of my customers. They won't pay me if I don't make their parts. And then I've got a couple of other boat projects I'm working on as well. They're not necessarily taking away from the time I spend working on this one, but they have their draws and their appeals to me also. They're all important to me. This one probably is the most important long-term to me because of the personal connection I have with the guy I got the boat from, but I'm working on a Procraft 210. It doesn't need a lot of work, but it needs new carpet and some stuff like that, and I'll have a video series about that. And then I'm working on a small shallow V shallow water runner using a surface drive, and I've started a I've started a series on that one, and I'll try and put the little links up here, if they will, and then links down in the description. Actually, links up here won't work if it's on Rumble, I think. That's only if it's on YouTube. If you're watching it on Rumble, the links are down in the description. Oh, I almost forgot. What I'm doing right now is I need to move the boat out of here because I want the space to do some service work on my Jeep. And I don't want this to get all filled with dirt sitting outside, so I went and picked up a cover. Well, not really a cover, a tarp, and some bungee cords and some clips so that I can minimize the amount of dirt that blows in and builds up here. Now that I've got the floor locked down permanently, any dirt that goes off the edge of the floor is going to be under the floor forever, or until 20 years from now when somebody else rebuilds this boat. Anyway, I'll let you guys watch that. Well guys, it's out of the way so I can work on one of my other things. I need to service the Jeep. It's past due for an oil change. And I promise I'll try for it not to be another year before I work on this. Because like I said, there's something personal I need to do with this